On today's episode, the Cubs win 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. We recap the series and get into some news and notes as well. And then we get into some breaking Kyle Hendricks news, a brief prospects update, and some fan feedback. This is a Monday edition of your favorite Cubs show, Locked On Cubs.
Are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is a Monday edition of the program. Love kicking off the week here on the show. Thanks for joining us, whether it's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. We're your first listen every day. Sam, the Cubs win 2 out of 3 from the Brewers on the north side. It was a fun weekend, a slugfest on Friday, a walk-off win Saturday, and the Cubs led 2-0. Headed to the 7th Sunday before falling, but a lot of good things to take away.
Well, I'd like to start out by saying I saw you yesterday three-dimensionally live in color for the first time in a while.
First time, yeah.
And you just look really good.
I appreciate
it. The summer has been kind to your appearance. And the Cubs look really good. And they won another series. You know, we'll talk a little bit later about today's, affair. But, what sticks out to me, Matt, about this series, another series win, and about pretty much every series in the second half, outside of maybe the series in St. Louis, is what we've ranted about and stressed on this show since we've been doing it, and that's just pitching and run prevention. The Cubs are one of the 5 best starting pitching ball clubs in the second half. Every single time, outside of Keegan Thompson right now, Sampson's giving you a chance every time he goes out. Stroman threw an absolute gem, his best outing in a Cub uniform yesterday. Wow. Justin Steele, I can't even contain my excitement. 6 innings tonight, 9 Ks. I think on a different day, Ross probably extends them a little bit, but he's just thrown so many innings this year. You got to be careful. So I understand that. Smiley has looked beautiful. And he's going to pitch in tonight's affair against those you-know-whats from St. Louis. And it's just been really nice to see. And it's something that next year I really hope that they are like, oh, wow, light bulb. Like, if we could just figure out this starting rotation, defend a little bit better, and obviously we're going to put together a more competitive bullpen than as it currently stands because they traded away all of them. Yeah. You don't need that much offense to win baseball games. You needed 5 hits today, and you're up 2-0. And it's really nice to see the pitching all come together. Stroman now has had, you can make a case, 3 of his 4 best outings as a Cub has come against the Brewers. Steele is shoved against the Brewers outside of 1 bad game at Miller Park. And it was nice to take 2 out of 3. I wanted to have the broom out. I wanted it.
I know.
Big day for Suzuki today. Huge day for Contreras yesterday. And some very clutch hits. So I give him his flowers for that. Ian Happ's 100th career home run. Madrigal continues to hit the baseball.
Yeah, 3 hits on Friday and Saturday apiece, which is great to see. Suzuki owns the Brewers, Sam. He's played great against them all season.
His best games have come against them.
Yeah, by far his best games. And, a lot of good things. There was so many wins in this series, besides the win-loss result, obviously. And to be able to set the tone on Friday for the entire weekend and actually outslug a team that's contending was big time. And that's also in spite of Keegan Thompson.
And we're not far from this ball club, Milwaukee. We're not far away from them.
That's an awesome statement.
No, we're not. Yeah. We're not. And Nico Horner on Saturday reminded me of Ozzie Smith. The
he is so good defensively.
That play that he made in short right field, I can't remember who hit it off the top of my head. So lefty, obviously, because he was in short right field. Oh, it was that you-know-who yelling. And I mean, he made a 360 turn on short right field. I mean, he didn't have a great offensive series, but we'll do maybe a separate show on this. I'll do some homework. He can't be that far off from a Gold Glove candidacy in the National League.
No, he's right there.
I mean, what a tremendous glove.
Tremendous glove. Yeah, no.
And by the way, if you're listening to this on audio today, Matt and I unintentionally are doing an ode, ODE, to the City Connect jerseys. Matt has the T-shirt. I have the other color. We look like the Tennessee Titans football team.
Titans 8, Brewers 7 on Friday.
Yeah, right.
I think that the Cubs really showcase their pieces on a little bit of a grander stage this weekend. I think Horner is head and shoulders, or I guess on the medal stand in terms of those pieces. It helps that Contreras and Happ had big days scattered throughout the series. Yeah. Big 2-run homer early on Saturday, then the game-winning hit. And then you wrap it up with Justin Steele, who again is just masterful on the bump. And it gave me some chills because what happened?
No, just the fact that you got chills over that's great.
I got chills. Well, you didn't let me finish the sentence.
Oh,
I got chills because John Lester was in the crowd on Sunday.
That makes sense.
And you visualize Lester and how good he was and may or may not be the best free agent signing in Chicago sports history. But this guy performed at a high level from the left side 3 straight years. And Justin Steele is showcasing that he could be the heir apparent to him. And he's a main anchor of the next great Cubs team.
And they speak, don't they?
Yes, they're in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, today's performance from Steele really passed the eye test too. I mean, that like pitching
from Jump
ninja,
Street,
that pitching ninja stuff. That Twitter
Rob
account
Friedman,
was all over some of his sliders. The fastball plays up. He kind of reminds me of a little bit. For those that watch a lot of baseball,
Sandy Koufax.
No. He's a righty, but it's the same profile as this guy Tristan McKenzie on the Guardians.
Wow. Yeah.
And I just say that from the standpoint of when I watched McKenzie pitch, who struck out 14 White Sox on Friday night, he's throwing 92 to 95, but for whatever reason, because of the extension or the spin, it plays up. And then when he's on, he has a really good secondary pitch, and that's pretty much what he works with. And Steele is just very, like today, it was just that 4-seamer in the zone, hit it as far as you can if you can, right. 92 to 95, playing up 94 to 97, and then that wicked kind of slider, especially to the righties, that was really troubling for these hitters. And Steele has entered the chat of Steele's pitching today. I have to watch every single pitch of this Cub game. No
doubt. That's exactly how I felt today. I set aside whatever I needed to do and make sure I was in the ready position at 120. As a beautiful day at Wrigley today after some light rain on Saturday. But Madrigal Horner was kind of fun. 1-2 in the lineup on Sunday, and Madrigal had a 13 pitch at bat in the bottom of the first. Do you think we'll see that again?
I think we'll see that again. I like some of your tweets about it today. I told you I kind of like Horner a little. I kind of like those guys separated because I want Horner hitting with guys on more. But
right,
it's fine to test it out. Let's just really quick talk about yesterday. Matt and I were
much fun.
We're at Matt's cousin's, my best friend's birthday at his house, just like a small family gathering and some friends. And we had the radio on for that extra inning game. So when I say yesterday, it's Sunday right now. So Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And we were surrounding the radio in extra innings, going crazy. And some people were looking at us like, this is the Cubs stink, don't they? And we were treating it like a postseason game.
It was awesome. Yeah, old school vibes with the radio
Oh,
playing,
we had the
turned
radio.
up.
We were circling it. I was nervous, so I had a softball in my hand that I was tossing back and forth as the game was going on. A slice of pizza in one hand as Contreras hit a base hit to right to clinch another series win.
Oh, great memories. Great memories.
It was yesterday, so yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. The Cubs didn't sweep, I think, in a large part because of the bullpen.
Right.
And we're going to break down all things relief pitching coming up next. First, we want to tell you about betonline.net. Betonline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering info. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Beautiful.
And we start this part of the program detailing some of the relief pitching usage this week by the Northsiders and perhaps some reinforcements that should or could be on their way to Wrigley Field this week. The thing, Sam, with this is...
Yeah, you were upset. Just tell the people, you were upset today.
Yeah, and let me just... I know I can get hosty very easily, and when I want to give a take, I'll give a take. But
yeah,
the fact is, okay, it doesn't go unnoticed by me.
Sure,
the Cubs traded their 4 best relief pitchers,
right?
So that's really hard. However, you could still manage a bullpen and perhaps have the personnel they're actually going to use and use effectively in games, especially when they're close. Right. And then you watch your left-handed young starter in Steele work his butt off for 6 innings, and it doesn't reap the rewards.
Yeah.
So that's the frustrating part, right?
I feel like I have chills. I feel like I'm in the movie Miracle right now, and I'm getting ready to take the ice against the Soviets. Go ahead.
So Cubs had 7 games this week. Brandon Hughes pitched in 5 of them. I mean, I can't even complete that sentence without chuckling because it's a little laughable. He's good. He's really good.
Nice pitcher.
He's a piece for 23. He's on the team for next year, as Ed Farmer once said. Rowan Wick, 4 games this week. Up and down, up and down.
2 up and down.
Yeah, 2 up and down. Actually, a little bit concerning if we're being 100% straightforward. And then you have a smattering of relievers that I've barely ever heard of, or we know what they are. Okay, Mark Leiter Jr. Have you seen enough of him, Sam? Just say yes or no.
Seen enough of? I don't know. No. I think he deserves to be. I think he deserves to pitch.
No, I mean, but we know what he is, though, right?
Yeah.
Or you think the jury's still out on him?
I don't think. If you finish your take, and then I'll go for it because you have to end this take by telling me and whoever else who would you like to see instead.
Leiter, Newcomb, Castro, whoever that is, Espinoza, who's been on the Iowa train all year. I feel like we know what those guys are, and/or let's see some new people. Okay.
Yeah.
So here are some. I wanted to name drop basically everybody in Des Moines right now because I can, and we do a Cubs show. So if we're really going to get in and zoom in, this is the place to do it. Okay. So thanks for being here. So here's a group of relievers that recently got to the Cubs. So they're newer names, and I don't see them as being realistic. Okay. Yeah. Correa, Estrada, Padilla, and then Manny Rodriguez, Sam, just got to Iowa from the ACL.
Right.
I wonder if we'll see him before the end of the year. Yeah. Cam Sanders has many tools. He profiles pretty well from the right side, but he just hasn't performed consistently. So I have 2 names, a right-hander and a left-hander, as possible promotion candidates as soon as Monday from AAA Iowa. Okay.
Right.
Ben Leeper, a right-handed pitcher, 49 strikeouts in 35 innings, 1 run and 11 Ks in 6 innings this month. And then lefty Brendan Little, who was a first-round pick a few years ago, 7 1/3 shutout innings in August. These guys should be candidates to get this call.
I agree.
Whether that's DFAing a player or a demotion. I think it's time that we see Leaper or Little or somebody else.
Sure. And I agree with you on that. I will say, though, I don't think with what Ross had today, I actually thought he managed it perfectly.
Okay.
Mark Leiter came in and junior and had nothing today. He just didn't have it.
He was bad today.
So he got him out early. But can I just make a quick point on Leiter Jr.?
Yeah.
As a reliever this year, coming into today, 2.87 ERA, and he has struck out 46 guys in 37 innings.
Yeah.
I think there's something there with him as a reliever, and I'd like to see it out. I don't know enough about Castro. I don't know enough about Espinoza. Agree on Newcomb. They have to keep Brault. They need some sort of lefty presence beside Hughes.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's going to pitch himself. But yeah, I would say I hear your point. I don't disagree with it at all, but I also am not as emphatic. I just don't think they care that much about this right now, the wins and losses. And
right.
At the end of the day, we'll see some of these guys. I just think, like, the way I look at it is it's not a great bullpen. The 3 best guys in the bullpen, in my opinion, are Wick, Hughes, and Leiter Jr. And I on the show, I'm making Leiter Jr. sound like he's Trevor Hoffman. But I've just been intrigued by some of his stuff.
He's your Matt Swarmer.
And all 3 of them were not good today. So it's like no matter, even if you have those guys, if Rowan Wick doesn't pitch well, they're not going to win. He's got to pitch better.
Yeah.
Like he didn't pitch well yesterday. He didn't pitch well. Like yesterday, I was kind of hard on Ross when we were at the at the party or whatever, and I was like, yeah, he should have brought this. And at the end, and I said, you know what? Rowan Wick's got to get 1 out before he gives up a 2-run homer to Adames. Like he just does, because he's pitching for a spot on next year's team, and I'm not going to trust him in a high leverage spot. And he was awesome before this little rough stretch. But that's why being a reliever, in my opinion, a great comp is like being a kicker in the NFL.
Ooh. All right, let's hear it.
You can make your first 20 kicks of the year, but you're going to remember the ones you don't make. And Rowan Wick's been on an amazing stretch lately, but now he's had 2 bad outings in a row, and those you remember them because they lose you games. It's just, look at Josh Hader, right? Josh Hader was the best reliever in baseball for a 3-4 year stretch. He's had a really bad 2 months, and now he's unplayable. Think of it from a kicking perspective. You miss 2-3 kicks in 2-3 straight games, you're going to get cut no matter what you did before. It's a very hard job being a reliever, and I think I'm not really overanalyzing today's game. They've been pitching a lot because they've been winning a lot, and Wick's got to be better. Hughes would have a great day, and like I said, Leiter Jr. and everything. But I also agree that I wouldn't mind seeing a guy like Newcomb, go, or maybe Castro, whoever it is, and bring in a more intriguing guy at the end. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I realized today too that the Cubs, especially at the end of weeks or in long weeks, perhaps like the one coming up, they are going to lose because they just don't have enough. But I still think in a year like this, you could make a move or 2 around the edges and get 1 or 2 new guys in as in the stretch run of the season here. So good conversation about the bullpen. There is some starting pitching opportunities this week as well. Tuesday they need a starter for the doubleheader against the Cardinals. Yeah. You have Wisniewski and Killian out there.
How fun it was! I think with Wisniewski, it's his day too.
I believe that's right, and then
that would be a one and done no matter what. So if he does pitch, if he does, he could throw 7 shutout. They're sending him back down.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then, but if you don't go the Wisniewski or Killian route, you have a guy like Luke Farrell or dare I say Matt Swarmer. I did see their names in the conversation today. The one wild card. Yeah, the one wild card is this pitcher Javier Assad, 2.66 ERA in 108 innings at AAA this year.
How old's he?
Mid-20s pitcher. And I think he's truly a wild card here, as somebody who who could get a look. He would have to be added to the 40-man roster.
And that's not an easy start. I mean, the Cardinals are tough
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
One starter that we're not going to see the rest of the year is Kyle Hendricks. News just broke here on a Sunday evening about him. We're going to highlight some PCA and Canario action and get to a fan comment coming up next. All right, Sam. Kyle Hendricks is not returning to the Cubs this season, at least based on his comments post-game on Sunday. He's going to regroup in Arizona after this homestand and get on a throwing program and prepare instead for a September start, 2023. What are your thoughts on this?
Not counting him out.
Really?
I listened to the. I think we got a trade proposal or whatever on Twitter, or somebody was like, "Hey, did you see that? Let's trade Hendricks.
I think so.
Let's trade Hendricks and this, to dump salary, whatever." I think he's a part of the team next year, and I think he contributes. I'm not counting out Kyle Hendricks. I know it's bad. I'm surprised he's hurt. I just think I think Kyle Hendricks is better on a better team. I think he'll be better again when he's not the feature guy.
100%.
So you have a Stroman and then hopefully another pitcher, and you throw him in fourth or fifth, and maybe you give him extra days rest, and you have more guys, and pitch him after somebody that he compliments. I don't know. I just think Kyle Hendricks has been a great player for a great pitcher for the Cubs for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 was bad. 22 was really weird. Just really a weird. I mean, it was either he was amazing or terrible. And I trust him, and I think he's going to contribute next year. And there's no need for him to come back this year. Why take starts from guys that are pitching better? And Wade Miley with the shoulder like that. That's a little bit different. I don't know what's going on with him, but Hendricks, if I were a gambling man and I would use Bet Online, I would bet that Kyle Hendricks would be in the rotation next year for the Cubs, and I would bet that he surprises people. That's just my hunch.
Yeah, that'd be great. And as a 4 or 5, you feel really good about him in a rotation.
Yeah.
PCA and Canario still producing headlines. And you've been
more homers for Canario. He reminds me of Sosa in June of '98. 31 on the campaign for this guy.
31 home runs, and there's 40 games left.
I mean, he has the power tool.
That's awesome. Well, I think I don't think he needs to be in Tennessee anymore.
Yeah, no, that promotion's coming. And PCA, I think, went 4 for 4 with 3 2-baggers on Saturday evening.
Yeah, and he continues to dazzle
and
defensively
did you notice,
as well.
Have you noticed that a lot of his hits, and I don't have the splits on it, but all of them Saturday were against lefties.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of his homers have come against lefties.
Okay, so you're not going to need to platoon this guy.
It's just not going to be Rafael Ortega as he weekly flies out to right.
Oh, good gosh.
Man, does he just try and hook everything, doesn't he? That was what your cousin was saying yesterday. He's like, every time I watch Ortega, he's just trying to hook the ball the right side. Go to left.
Right. Use the whole baseball field.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm pumped about how well we're playing.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting.
It is.
17-11 in the second half.
And how many series is that, real quick off the top of my head? It went Marlins, Nationals. There's somebody in between.
Marlins, Reds.
Oh, Marlins, Reds, Nationals. No. It's Marlins, Nationals, Reds, Nationals.
Yeah, twice with
Brewers.
The Nationals, right.
Yeah, Brewers.
That's going to be 5 straight series.
With a win sneaking in against the playoff hopeful Orioles.
Yes, that's correct.
And do we play 5 baseball games against the Cardinals this week, or is it 4?
It's 5. It's 5. Monday through Thursday with a DH on Tuesday, and then you go to Miller Park or American Family, whatever, next weekend.
Feed me that. Let's take 3 of 5.
Yes, I love the energy.
No, seriously.
I'm here for this energy.
And then we play the Brewers again. Let's just keep beating these guys.
I love it.
St. Louis is going to be tough. I think Jordan Montgomery, who's throwing tomorrow, he threw against the Cubs as a Yankee earlier this year. I think he pitched really well.
Yeah, it's going to be Montgomery Smiley in a battle.
And get ready for just a straight line of righties.
Yeah, you're right.
But they did hit that guy Ashby on Friday.
Uh-huh.
He's a lefty.
So we received a really cool comment over the weekend from a listener, Sam, and this is L. Ron Hummer on Twitter. His profile picture is Alec Mills, of course.
Yeah.
We don't know the story behind that. We may have to ask them, but I'm going to read you his message here as we close out with some fan feedback. He says, "Hey, Matt and Sam. It's L. Ron Hummer from Twitter. I wanted to say that I'm a fan of the show and haven't missed an episode since you guys took over. Sam, keep fluctuating your voice and being yourself. The bit works well." He puts, that's probably not a bit in parentheses. "And I appreciate your passion and honesty towards this ball club. Matt, I appreciate your demeanor and think you do a great job being the straight man between you two. My best friend is a Cardinals fan, and I still send him episodes that are really good. It's been a frustrating few years for this ball club, but I appreciate the rhetoric from this podcast as our favorite team hopefully turns a corner in the near future. Hope to see either of you at Wrigley someday."
Man, you want to talk about a guy, I'm assuming, that gets the show.
Yeah, totally.
That's a great comment, Elron. Thank you for that. And tell your best friend that the Cardinals are coming and they're facing a buzzsaw this week.
That's a great place to finish up right
I should have done my high-pitched voice there, but I didn't feel it.
We'll have to do it for Tuesday shows.
That's a great comment. And by the way, just really quick before you close, we if you want whatever comments you want to write, we're not just reading the good ones.
I've read all of them.
Yeah, we read every one. So don't think on the show, Matt just picked a cool comment. No, that was the one we haven't read.
I keep reading them, and once I read them, I respond that night.
That happened to be an A+ comment on somebody that understands our dynamic.
Yeah, it was really cool to see, and let's keep building this thing.
And go Titans.
Where's Derrick Henry?
Oh, man. That was probably – no one's going to laugh at that, but you did, so that's good.
Okay. Be sure to hit subscribe for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button on all your favorite Locked On Cubs content, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, you can drop us a text, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast, where Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. For Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.